I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I do have the AC on because it is one hot son of a gun outside. Bare Minerals recently revamped their shade range on the BarePro 24-hour performance wear liquid foundation, and they had some new cool undertone shades, which I absolutely love this foundation. I've been through 2 bottles in the shade Cool Beige, which it never really matched me exactly, but it was close enough to what I could get in the shade range for this foundation. And then I also, in the summertime, would mix it with another shade called Teak, and both of those shades had cool undertones, but on my skin tone, which is very, very cool, they still looked a little warm. So when I saw that they had new shades with cool undertones, I went ahead and picked up 2 more of them because I have gone through a few bottles of this foundation. I love that it has SPF. It's a super thin, lightweight feeling on the skin, but it covers really well for me. So the 2 shades I got are Flax 9.5 and Shell 7.5. Flax 9.5 is the shade that I have all over my face today, and out of all the foundations that I've tried in a really long time, or base products, this Flax 9.5 comes so close to my actual skin tone. I was super stoked about it. And then Shell is a little bit lighter, but because I like the finish and the coverage and just the feeling of this foundation in general, I thought that I would try Shell 7.5 as a concealer around my eyes. And that's also what I have around my eyes, is this foundation. And I think as a concealer, it looks really pretty underneath the eyes. There's something about the super lightweight texture, and it still covers. It's not super heavy like some, like a like a Tarte Shape Tape or anything like that, but it still covers and remains very, very thin. I don't get creasing with it or anything like that. So I've really been enjoying using these 2 shades on my face, both for concealer and foundation. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch these next to the 2 shades, that the older ones that I have, so kind of for a color comparison for you guys. So the top one is Flax, and the bottom one is Shell, which is the lightest one. So these are the 2 that I have on my face today. And I mean, look, that shade almost blends right into my skin. And then here's the older shades, Cool Beige right there, and here is the shade Teak, which I used to use probably 3 parts Cool Beige, 1 part of Teak for my kind of summertime foundation to give me some color. And those are both cool toned shades right there, but these 2 are match my skin tone quite a bit better than these ones, so I'm super excited about it. And then over the 4th of July, Wet n Wild was doing a 30% off sale, so I went ahead and I picked up 6 duos. These are the mini makeup sponges. This is what the packaging looks like. I took a new one out of there. And this is a little bit smaller sponge than some of the ones on the market kind of nowadays. But what I like about it is because it's a smaller end, I feel like I don't have to use as much product, or the sponge doesn't absorb as much product because I'm not using as much surface area on the sponge. But this particular one, in addition to that, is very, very soft and smooth. It's got a nice texture to it, and then it's got this real fine point on it right there, which makes getting into the inner corner of my eye super, super easy. And I just love this little sponge. So I have gone through one, and one of them got lost, and I'm blaming the cats for that. I'm sure it's their fault. It is their fault. So I threw the other one away, and I plan on decluttering a bunch of my sponges. And I've got a stock of these guys now, but these are definitely worth checking out. You get 2 sponges, and I think they're $5.99, and then I got 30% off during the sale, so I really love this little sponge. And then when I was in Walmart, I saw this Bronze Please Latera Sun Powder Face and Body Bronzer. There's 0.63 ounces of product in here, and I had originally bought the blush. There's 2 blushes available. They only had 1 that day, and they had none of the bronzers were out. And then when I went in there the other day, they had just this single bronzer sitting there, so I grabbed it. And I want to say there's 2 or 3 shades of it, but I just really wanted it, so I grabbed this one, and it's the shade number 3 called Amalfi. And this is the bronzer that I have on my face today, and it's very, very warm. It's got a golden kind of undertone to it. There are little fine golden shimmers inside of here, and it applied really nicely to the skin and all of that, but I think that it's just a little bit too golden and a little bit too warm for my liking for a bronzer. So I'm hoping when I go back, they have a few other shades to kind of choose from. But let me go ahead and swatch it for you guys. And this does have, it's got a pretty heavy perfumed fragrance to it as well, so if you're not into that, definitely don't recommend it. It's a summery type of scent, almost like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Beach Walk from Maison Margiela, that fragrance range. I know I butchered that, but that's kind of what this smells like. So this is the shade number 3 Amalfi, and this is the bronzer that I have on my face today, and I just feel like it pulls a little bit too warm for me. Then I placed an order off of the Ulta website, and Buxom came out with a new range of lipsticks. They're called the Full Force Plumping lipsticks, and I just couldn't tell from online like how the shades were going to be, so I purchased one, and I'm hoping that when I go to town that they have the range in Ulta so that I can swatch the shades, because I really like the formula. So I got the shade Goddess, and that is what I have on my lips today. It's a pretty warm nude shade. This is the box packaging right here, and Buxom has a line of lipsticks called Bold Gel lipsticks. Those are some of my absolute favorite lipsticks in my entire collection. I have a few of Guilty Angel, which is my most worn. So I was excited that they came out with more because I really enjoy their other lipstick range. The packaging feels nice and weighty, and then it has got it clips down like that, and then it says Buxom. But there are little lip embossings around the edge of it, and it has a nice sweet vanilla scent, which I just adore. And it has a curved end to the bullet, which hugs the lips really, really nicely. So this is the lipstick that I have on today. It does have that same type of cooling kind of effect on the lips that the glosses do. But I know that there are some people out there that don't like that effect, so these do that. If you are not into that, you probably won't like them. And my cat is turning off the air conditioner. She does that. So let me give you a hand swatch, even though this is what I have on my lips today. Also, with that online order at Ulta, I purchased the Tarte High Performance Naturals Unleashed eyeshadow palette. This is what the box comes like, and it does come with a travel size mascara. It says of the Big Ego, which is a new mascara that Tarte has come out with. I have the mascara on today, and I've had that on since this morning. I haven't had any flaking or any transferring. However, I have not gone outside yet. That'll be the ultimate test when I go outside and go riding to see if it transfers or anything. But the overall 2 coats of it on my lashes looked really nice. The end of the brush reminds me of the Too Faced Better Than Sex brush, where it's a pretty decent sized, kind of flared out on the ends brush. But it coated my lashes really well, so if it doesn't flake and smudge, it's going to be a good one. And then the eyeshadow palette is super, super pretty. So it says Young, Wild, and Free, cruelty-free on the front. And the front of it's holographic, and like, I don't know, it's almost trippy to kind of look at. It's one of these type of deals. And then there's a good sized mirror in there. It's made out of hard plastic packaging that clips closed. And then you have got 15 shades inside. Each shade is 0.043 ounces a piece, which is a pretty decent amount of product that you're getting. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matte shades. I would say 1 kind of satin, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shimmer shades. This is the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today, and I absolutely love this. The matte shades were pigmented and substantial. They weren't too like blend into nothing type of deal. I've had trouble with Tarte's matte eyeshadows in the past, like their all matte Tartist palette. It was a no-go for me. This is a much better formula. And then the shimmer shades are also quite substantial. So this is what I have on my eyes today. I did put a little bit of a Milani topper glitter over my lid right there, so that extra sparkle is from that. Otherwise, this is all that I have on my eyes. This here is that shade that's, I'd call it a satin. There's a slight sparkle to it, but overall it kind of appears matte. But I love this. And then also the shades are magnetized in the palette, so you can remove them and pop them into something else if you want to travel with a bunch of magnetic shades and stuff like that. I'm loving that like more and more companies are doing that. It's just making things a lot more fun. And then also when you open it, you get a whiff of like vanillin or like a cocoa type smell, which I really like. It just makes me happy. So it does have that like cocoa vanilla smell to it as well. But let me go ahead and give you guys some swatches of this guy. This is I think this is one of my favorite palettes that Tarte has come out with in a very long time. They've come out with some, you know, decent ones, but I really feel like this one is really good. Really, really, really. So there's the first 4. There's a good range of, I feel, mattes, both deep, mid-tone, and then you got that lighter kind of satin shade in there. And then just some really pretty shimmers. This guy. And these 2 shades are so pretty. Very pigmented. They blend it out so nice. I'm really liking the mattes. The matte formula in this particular palette is great. And then these next guys. And then the last three here. So there are the swatches. Aren't those pretty? This is like the ultimate, it's like the ultimate summer palette with those aquas and those warms. So that's the Tarte Unleashed eyeshadow palette. Really like it. Really nice. And then here's the packaging again. And again, the shades are magnetized inside. Also from Ulta, I got this e.l.f. Metallic Flare Highlighter in the shade White Gold. There's 0.18 ounces of product here, and I think there are 3 shades that were available on the Ulta website. So I got the one in White Gold, and this is what the packaging looks like. It kind of looks like a, baked jelly, but it's kind of not. It's more so a baked, like a baked, you know, like a MAC baked blush. It's more like that type of a texture. It's pretty firm in the pan, so when I first swatched it, I had to really push into it to kind of break through that top layer, and then it was very, very pretty. So I recommend kind of a more stiff brush when using it, but once it gets on the cheeks, it's actually very, very pretty. So this is the highlighter that I have on my face today, and I think that it looks really great. So I'm going to swatch this and then compare it next to another highlighter that I got, because I think that they're really similar and the price point between the two is pretty large. So this is a much more affordable option to the one I'm going to show you here in a minute. But it is a stiffer press type of formula. It's a little stiff, but once you kind of get into it, it's pretty. So this is the shade in White Gold. See, it's really pretty. And I have got this on my face today, and that's from e.l.f. And then this week I got in that Kylie Cosmetics order that I placed also over the 4th of July. They were doing, I think it was 25% off sale. And I really wanted to try this highlighter. I'd heard good things about it, and I think it was her, or is, I think it's her #1 selling highlighter. So this is the Kylie Pressed Illuminating Powder in Ice Me Out. And this one's got 0.34 ounces of product. It comes with pink plastic packaging. And this, like, I got them both the same day, and I had swatched the e.l.f. one, and then I swatched the Kylie one, because I was swatching all the new makeup, and I was like, those are really similar. So this Ice Me Out shade is quite similar to this e.l.f. one. So let's go ahead and swatch this one. This has got a less stiff texture, however. It's a little bit softer than the e.l.f. one, but I feel like the finishes of the two are pretty similar. The Kylie one is thicker as well. The formulation of it is thicker and more opaque. But, I mean, both very shiny, pretty highlighters. I was like, those are pretty similar. So that's the Kylie Ice Me Out, and that's the e.l.f. White Gold right there. I think that they're both very pretty. And then also from the Kylie Cosmetics, I got the collab highlighter and palette that she did with, what sister is it? Chloe. I got the True Mama highlighter and the eyeshadow palette. And I found it interesting because the Ice Me Out highlighter's been out for a little bit longer, and this one's a newer product. This highlighter feels smoother to me than the Ice Me Out one. It just, the texture of it feels a little bit nicer, I think. So this one's got a more pink undertone to it, but it also has a slight gold shift to it. And I think it's really pretty as well. So that is the one in True Mama. And there was a bit of a savings when you bought the highlighter with the eyeshadow palette. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I also got that 25% off. This eyeshadow palette is really, really good. So this is the Koko by Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. These are also all magnetized in the palette. Again, I love that feature in any type of makeup product. I think it makes them more versatile for traveling or customizing your stuff. So this is the Koko by Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, and in this guy you've got 5 mattes, which are these two, this peach over here, and then these 2 browns. And I've worn this quite a few times since I got it. I really, really like it. The overall effect from this, just using the shades in this palette, is super, super pretty. So each shade in here is 0.05 ounces a piece, which is a pretty decent amount of product that you're getting. But I just really, really have been enjoying using this eyeshadow palette. Like, a lot more than I had originally anticipated that I would. I've been using this yellow underneath the brow for like that matte brow bone, and it just ties everything all together when I use it like that. These shimmers are super pretty. And I feel like there's enough for a full look in here for everything. Deep shimmer, blend out, highlight. It's correlated really well. So there are the swatches right there for the Koko by Kylie eyeshadow palette. Then I also got all 3 of the extended palettes that she has. I got the, again with the, none of these palettes have the names on them. They really need to do something about that. I got the burgundy, the bronze, and the peach extended palettes. I have not worn the burgundy palette just yet, so I'll save that one probably and swatch it in next week's video. But I have worn both the bronze palette and the peach extended palette, which are these 2 right here. And again, I really, really like them. So this one right here is the bronze extended palette. It's cardboard packaging with a magnetic closure and a mirror that flips all the way back. And then there are your eyeshadows. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matte shades. You've got 5 shimmers, which are this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. And then you've got this shade right here, which is one of those mattes infused with shimmers, which I always wish companies would just make up their mind and either make it matte or shimmery, because those shades just kind of never just do it for me. But I really like this palette. I think the shades in here in terms of mattes and shimmers are good, and it's correlated again really well with in terms of light and dark and the color range. Looks that come out of here are super pretty. Had really good luck with it, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch this guy for you. I'm kind of trying to hurry up because I keep running to the air conditioner because it is so hot in here with these lights. My gosh. But look at that. Really, really pretty. And these next shades. And then these last shades right here. And these are also magnetized in the packaging. I'll do a little bit better of this one. I have used this dark matte, and it does go on better than it's looking in that swatch. But that is the Kylie Bronze Extended eyeshadow palette right there. And then here is the Peach Extended palette. This one doesn't kind of have the holographic Kylie. It's kind of like white. It's really hard to see in the camera. This one doesn't have a matte brow bone for me, so I did bring in Wet n Wild's Brulee, but again with the formulation of the shadows, really got along well with it. It's all a bunch of kind of peach toned neutral shades. So let's give you some swatches there. Let me tell you too which shades are all matte. You've got these 2, this guy on the end, and then these 2. So there's 5 mattes in this one. So there are the first 4. And then these next guys. Right there. And then the last 4. These are also magnetized in the palette. Oh my gosh, I did not do a good job wiping those older swatches off. Sorry. So there is the Peach Extended palette right there. And these, not gonna lie, the formulation of these shadows, they really remind me also of the KKW eyeshadow palettes. Very similar vibes I get from them and ColourPop. And then there's one more eyeshadow palette that I want to mention because it gives me the vibes of a very expensive eyeshadow palette, so I thought I would share it with you guys. And I got this at Target, and I purchased a few items from this range already, and I hauled them, it was a few videos back now, but I didn't purchase one of the larger shadow palettes that they had. And this is from the brand Makeup Obsession, which is a sister line to Makeup Revolution. And the biggest difference that I'm finding between the two, at least in terms of the eyeshadows, is these ones don't have mineral oil in them and the Makeup Revolution ones do. And I actually prefer the eyeshadows from Makeup Obsession over the eyeshadows from Makeup Revolution. But the color scheme in this one in particular got me. These are also magnetized in the palette. Living for it. So I've used this palette quite a few times also, and I like every look that comes out of it, and it's very easy to use. The shadows are very easy to blend. They've got nice pigmentation to them, but they're just really easy. You don't kind of have to worry about overdoing it, I don't think. And the looks that come out of here, because of the tones of them, really give me the vibes that I get from the Tom Ford Eye Color Quad in Body Heat, which if I ever get around to doing that favorites video, which I need to do, and also an empties video and a collection video, and oh my gosh. But this Tom Ford Body Heat Quad would be in my favorites video for sure. So let me hold them up next to each other so you can kind of see the vibe. They're not the same. They're definitely not the same in terms of formulation and stuff like that, but the vibe that I get from both these palettes is the same, which is a real hot vibe. So if you're looking for that Tom Ford Body Heat vibe without the $88 price tag, give this guy a try from Makeup Revolution at Target. It's $14.99, and it's the Be the Game Changer is the palette right there. So let's give you guys some swatches of this one. I actually this week found myself looking for this palette, which I thought was funny. I don't know why, but there's the first four. And the second row, get too far back. And then these guys. And then this last row. $16 eyeshadows in there. But the color scheme on here is just, I think it's really pretty. So that is the Makeup Obsession Be a Game Changer palette. And that's everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.